Hey, what's up? Welcome back. Part 2 of the Khopesh sword collaboration between Alec Steele and myself. So, if you don't know this already, Alec Steele forged a Damascus billet and then forged a Khopesh sword, and then I am doing everything else. So, I've got this heat treated now, completely heat treated, hardened and tempered and everything, and I am embarrassed to say that I accidentally deleted the footage of me quenching the blade. Yep, so you can't see that. So if you just take about 10 seconds right now, pause the video and just picture that, just imagine it. Just a red hot sword right into the oil. That's all it was. You're not missing anything. Alright, so we'll move on. So the next thing that I got to do to this sword is actually work on this tang here. I got to get the tang the same thickness as the ricasso and make it parallel with the ricasso. Flatten these bolsters, make the bolsters parallel with the blade and the tang. After I do that, I can accurately profile grind this section how I want it and then line up everything dead straight. So if I hadn't actually deleted those video clips of me hardening the blade, you would have also seen a clip of me straightening the blade. Heard me mention in the first video that there was a slight bend in the blade and I was going to hammer it out before heat treat. But then I decided I was going to go about it at a more elegant, tasteful way. So I decided I was going to do it after heat treat. And I've never done this before. I've never seen anyone do it before. I'm sure that other people have done it before though. So when you go through the process of hardening, of course, you're quenching that steel blade and you're getting it from critical temperature down to the nose of that quench, which is a temperature that is different for every steel. For this type of steel, it's going to be getting it from about 1500 Fahrenheit to 900 degrees Fahrenheit in 1 second. And once you hit that 1 second mark, it's okay to pull it out of the oil, but the steel is still going through the hardening transformation until it gets to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So in between that 900 degree Fahrenheit and 400 degree Fahrenheit range, you have a moment to actually bend a blade and straighten the warp. So what I did was I placed it on my magnetic chuck, flipped the magnet on, and it sucked that blade flat to the flat magnetic chuck. And I just left it on there until it got below 400 degrees Fahrenheit. After that, pulled it off the chuck and it was dead straight. We're going to be doing some more experiments with it, and if it turns out to where this is a really efficient way to straighten knives, then I'm probably just going to buy a magnetic chuck just for straightening knives so I don't have to use my surface grinder. Now let's move on to the fun stuff. Alrighty, so I got all of the machining done on the handle. Everything is parallel to one another, flat, straight, in line. Got the profile of the handle ground out and the bulk of the material gone. The only thing is the handle came a bit small. I noticed it before I started grinding into it, and I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out after grinding into it. So as you can see, it's a little bit small, and I don't have huge hands. I have like medium-sized hands. As you can see, when my hand comes into the piece like this, it kind of hits in between these 2 points, and it's not that big of a deal. It'll feel great when it's done, and I don't know if Alec has smaller hands or what, but it's not so much as a functional thing for me that the handle is a little bit small. The handle will actually feel really good when it's done. The thing for me is that it's visually a little bit small, you know, like proportion wise. And what I think I'm going to have to do is actually narrow down this section just a little bit more, which will give it a more balanced look. And I think that it's going to turn out good in the end. This really is a huge chunk of the work out of the way. Like I said, this is the building block of the knife. With an integral knife like this, it's very important that this part is done correctly, because it sets the whole knife up for success. So from here out, I'm basically just going to be scribing my layout lines on the blade in the next video and doing the final grinding, which is where the blade bevels and everything will actually come to life. I did do a Rockwell test on the sword on my Rockwell machine that you are seeing right now. That tested on average out of 4 tests at around 56.5 Rockwell. I was getting 56 and 57 number readouts on my Rockwell machine, which is a great hardness for this sword. It's similar to an axe blade, so 56-ish Rockwell is going to be tough enough to where this blade isn't going to have a large risk of breaking, but it's going to be plenty hard enough to hold an edge and to be a proper sword. And that's it for this video. We've got a lot of important steps out of the way. From here out, it's going to be more of your fine-tuning, detail, polishing, and all that stuff. Probably half of the workload is going to be in the last 20% of building the knife, because all of those fine details, all of that finishing is what really starts to add up the hours. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check in for part 3 and any other parts after this, where I am building an Egyptian Khopesh sword in collaboration with Alec Steele. He forged this sword. Very well done. He forged the Damascus also. I'm excited to be able to work on this project. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and I'll catch you in the next video.